Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh and welcome everyone. So today we will have 3.5. This lesson is about a short story about the lost city. So in this lesson or in this short story, we will read and find the answers for the following questions we have. Activity number 2. So look at the picture of this journey. Who are the travelers? Who are the travelers? These are the pictures. Okay. And how do they get there in this second picture? Why do you think they go on this journey? So the first answer to this question, who are the travelers? We can see that the two travelers are the two pandas in every picture. The second question, how do they get there to this lost city as we see in the title? Why do you think they go on this journey? So why are they going around the woods and finally they go to this lost city or find this lost city? So what we will do is read and listen to the short story and find the answers.
Track 18.
The Lost City by Margot Fallis. Yong-Hu and Ho-Shing walked through the valley. "I'm getting tired," Yong-Hu complained. "Where are we going anyway?" he asked. "We are going to find a city, a lost city. There are wondrous surprises that await the ones who find the ancient city." "Does anyone live there?" Yong-Hu.
So why do they go on this journey? We are going to find the city. There are wondrous surprises that await who find the ancient city.
asked. "Not anymore. At one time it was the busiest city in all of China." "Why not?" "Because it is too far out of the way for the trade routes." "What kinds of surprises are there? Good surprises?" Yong-Hu asked. "Magical surprises." Ho-Shing smiled. "Come." "Is there bamboo in the lost city?" Yong-Hu asked. "Much." "Good. Let's hurry up then. I'm starving." After several hours, Ho-Shing stopped. "See the mountains ahead? We are nearly there. Another hour." Just then they heard a growling sound. "What was that?" Yong-Hu asked. "A tiger, but it isn't near us. Its roar is echoing off the tall mountains." "There it is. There is the lost city. We have found it at last," Ho-Shing smiled. "It is magnificent, Ho-Shing. The walls are high and the roofs of the buildings sparkle in the sunshine. Are they made of jade?" Yong-Hu asked. "There is much green jade, ivory, gold, silver, and even red rubies. We must hurry," Ho-Shing said. "How do we get inside?" Yong-Hu wondered. "We must climb these steps," Ho-Shing said, pointing to very steep steps that led to the top of the wall. Yong-Hu laughed and ran up the stairs. After he'd climbed 20 of them, he stopped and took a few breaths. "I think I'll walk slowly up the rest of them." "Ah, there is where we need to go," he said to Yong-Hu as he reached the top step. "Over there, in the middle of the city." "That is where we shall find our surprises," Ho-Shing said. They climbed down the steps on the other side of the wall. "We need to treat this place with respect. Be quiet. Don't touch anything until I say so, he warned his friend. When they reached the centre of town, a huge golden gong hung from poles. Several Chinese statues of lions surrounded it. Look at their ruby eyes, Yong-hu said. Can I bang the gong? He asked. Yes, the wiser panda said. Yong-hu picked up the stick and hit the gong. When the noise stopped, silence filled the air. Crickets began to chirp. Listen, Ho Xing said. It is beautiful. When do we get the rubies and jade? Yong-hu whispered. Ho Xing ignored him and listened to the magical music of the crickets. The two pandas stood silently for an hour until the crickets stopped singing. Our surprise? Yong-hu whispered again. Yong-hu, that was our surprise. Nobody in the world has heard anything that beautiful before. It is our reward for our journey, Ho Xing said. What about the jade? What about the gold, silver, rubies and ivory? Yong-hu asked. We cannot touch these things. They belong to the people who lived once in this lost city. You can eat all the bamboo you want, but the rest must stay within these walls, Ho Xing explained. At the mention of bamboo, Yong-hu forgot about all the precious jewels and riches. Bamboo! He ran off to search for his feast.
Okay, so after reading the short story, we can answer these questions. Okay, why do you think they go on this journey? Okay, because there are wondrous surprises that awaits them. Also, we can move to activity number 4. Circle the correct answer. The lost city is in a remote location, near the city, on a trade route. 2. The city is not a safe place, has many surprises, is very busy. So check the answers if you got it right. The first one is A, in a remote location. And the second question, B, has many surprises. All right. Question number 3 in the second page. Young-Hu ran up all the steps to the lost city, couldn't climb to the top of the steps, ran up 20 stairs, and then walked the rest. The answer we can find here in the last line. After he climbed 20 of them, he stopped and took a few breaths. I think I'll walk slowly up the rest of them. So it should be C. C. All right. Move to the next page, page 54, with activity number 4. Where do the pandas need to go to find the surprises? A, down the steps. B, statue with lions. C, middle of the city. So where are the surprises? Now we can check your answers. C, in the middle of the city. All right. Now here is a word that you should keep in your mind. Chirp. It's the sound of crickets. Chirp. Question number 5. Young-Hu's surprise was the bamboo, the magical music of the crickets, the rubies and jade. So what were the surprises. It was the magical music of the crickets. Question number 5. Match the words in blue in the text with the definitions below. So we have 6 definitions, and there is a word in every paragraph. Gong, chirp, and the first 2 pages we have bamboo, roar, jade, rubies. So we need to find which words have the right definitions. The sound crickets and birds make, like we said just now, chirp. So this one is for A, chirp. B, a tall leafy plant that pandas eat. The one we have here is called a bamboo. C, a red precious stone. We need to go back to the first page. There is much green jade. So jade is green. And even red rubies. So rubies are red. Now we can write in front of C, rubies. The sound the line makes, roar. A green precious stone, we said jade. Okay, now you can check all your answers and move to question number 6. Find the past simple of these verbs in the text. Walk, hear, find, smile, forget, stand, run, climb, take, and reach. These are all verbs, and we need to find the past simple of these verbs. We know the rule or use of English to find the past simple of a verb is simply to add an ed at the end of the word. So walked, walk will become walked. Walked, we add ed in the end. Here, we will say heard. Heard, we will add the same. Find, here we will find an issue. We cannot say find it because find is an irregular verb which has another word in the past simple, which is found. Found. Now take the right answers and write them on your book. We will take a few seconds so you can write these words correctly. We can see some of the other irregular verbs like stand, stood, run, ran, take, took. Right? Now, to activity number 7, complete these sentences with a verb from activity 6, the one we just talked about, in the past simple. So the words we just wrote. They a loud roar. They heard a loud roar. He climbed up the steps to the lost city. Ho Xing smiled as he stood. No, as he reached the stairs. That's why he smiled. So be careful when you are writing the verbs because context also matters. Okay, finally, activity 8, looking after our environment. Why were there no people living in the city? Where have they gone? It's an interesting question, and you should answer it by yourself. Is it because of the lion? Is it because okay, find the reasons you feel like are the most correct, and we will discuss them in the next class, inshallah. B, many people move from the country to the city to work, but this means the cities become dirtier and more crowded. Discuss ways which we can make cities cleaner. All right, so that was it for today's lesson. The only page we have left to do is the check your progress page on the end of this unit, page 58. So check your progress. We have a summary of all the lessons we already took. For example, what do you know now? Number 1, write down 3 adjectives to describe the city. We already took this lesson and we have wrote a lot of adjectives like magnificent, like scary looking, maybe busy city, amazing city, huge city, a quiet city, noisy city. All these adjectives you can write. Number 2, use the comparative of your adjectives to write 4 sentences comparing the city and the country. For example, you can say, my country is better than the city. Or you can say, the city is louder than the country. So see, we used ER to present the comparative form of the adjective. All right, this is what you should have in mind. Number 3, write 2 sentences about where you live using the superlative form. All right, for example, Taif is the greatest city, or the loudest city, or the coldest city. See, I'm using the EST to represent the superlative form. The quietest, the most colorful, these are also superlative adjectives. Number 4, tell your partner about your favorite fictional place. This refers to the movies we talked about in the previous lesson. Use adjectives form from unit to describe it. So we have made or we have understood a lot of adjectives. For example, the adjectives in page, let's go back to the lesson about locations. This one, the fictional place, we already took these adjectives: exotic, enchanting. Also, the adjectives we have in the first lesson: peaceful, ancient, colorful, and the rest of them. You can choose any adjective you want to describe what is said in to check your progress about your favorite fictional place. Number 5, how many expressions can you think of to give an opinion? For example, nervous is an expression, happy, an expression. Question number 6, write sentences using these verbs in the past simple. Go, live, have, travel, work, write. I worked in a bakery, for example. I traveled to London, for example. All right, now let's move to look what I can do. Write or show examples in your notebook. I can compare and talk about the city and the country. Do you feel sad or happy? Can you do it or not? I can draw a 3D optical illusion. We did this activity together and we have tried to draw the 3D optical illusion. So did you make it or not? I can use the past simple to talk about places in the past. I can write a description about a fictional place. We have already tried to talk about our fictional place. Some of you talked about an island, a lost forest, a lost city. Finally, I can understand a story about the lost city. This is the short story we had today. So, did you understand it or not? Check your progress one. We have a list of activities that you can do. So, let's try to do a part of it. Read the clues and guess the words. For example, F. This is something which controls the traffic. So can you guess? Traffic lights. All right. So let's see F. Traffic lights. All right, good. Okay, you can do the rest of the activities. Let's move to the next page, final page. Activity number 4. Work in pairs. Each sentence has an error. So in every sentence here, there is an issue or problem. Take turns to roll a dice and choose the sentence with the same number. Can you correct the errors? So let's take, for example, number 4. You must to use a mosquito net when you sleep. So the problem here is that we used to after the verb. You must use a mosquito net when you sleep. This is the correct use. So we should remove to. Let's take another example. The country is more clean than the city. What is the issue now? So if you have already spotted it, you are smart. The country is more clean. So we are using comparative form, right? But he did not add the er to the adjective. So we should say the country is more cleaner than the city to make the correct comparative form. Now that's it for this unit and the end of our term. I hope that you have enjoyed in all of the lessons. What we will do from now on is revise and do the activities we did not do before in the workbook, in the learner book. Also, we will focus more on the projects we have in page 56, whether it's A or B. We will give time for your friends to present their projects and to share their ideas on the lesson. That's it for today. Thank you and see you later.